GTA 6 Collector's Edition news has just dropped. What does that mean though in terms of physical collecting? Are we seeing here that this could be a massive step change in how collecting is going to work in the future when it comes to physical games? Or is this just a flash in the pan and just one company just trying to make as much money as they can? Let's dive into it. I am, as many are out there, quite excited for GTA 6 to launch. Now, this is due out in just a few months' time. It is not too far away now. And today we finally got some useful information around pre-orders, which are set to go live tomorrow, which is the 25th of June, if I am correct. And when I had seen someone speak about this on Discord, that some information was out, I was like, okay, great, fantastic, what are we looking at? Because I was trying to think, in my head, if there's multiple versions, which one am I going to get? If I'm going to get one, which store will I get it from? Because I'd like to get it day of release and not have to wait for downloads, all that kind of stuff. But it seems that we now have one special edition they're calling the Ultimate Edition, and it doesn't look like there's anything else. So let's quickly dive over and see what it is they're actually making here. So when you go on the website, you find this Ultimate Edition being listed here, and when you open that up, it seems that you're getting things that quote-unquote have a collection of premium vehicles, weapons, apparel, and action around every corner. And when I saw that, I was like, interesting. Is this going to maybe be some extra missions? Are we going to get something like that in there? I'm not sure at this point, so let's kind of scroll through. And it looks to me like when you see these vehicles, don't get me wrong, I quite like the skin of that. I think the render of that's really, really nice. I like the paintwork. This grotty Jita, or Cheetah, even not Cheetah, looks interesting. We've got some different guns. Now, I am assuming these are weapon setups. This might be alluding to something along the lines of, can we modify guns? That could be fun and that could be interesting. It could be you only get these guns if you go along that way. You get personalized variants, which makes me think that maybe you can do something in the game when it comes out, when it launches. And then it looks like you're getting outfits, tattoos, and more for these two characters that we're going to play in. We've got different safe house vehicles, which again, I like the art here. I like the render of this. The render looks really, really nice. And we've got some other bits around different car things, some custom detailing for cars, a signature salon styles. When I saw this, it made me go, oh, okay. We're not getting anything that is going to be massively impactful to the story, is it? We're getting some interesting tattoos. That's great. We're getting a mod shop car. Interesting. Gang compound stuff. This seems interesting. This classic car collection stuff where you can get different ones that way. That at least sounds like it's quote unquote a mission. But the rest of that to me seems cosmetic, and that made me feel a couple of things. And then I started to think about, what does this mean for collecting in general? And I started to think of more and more. So I do quite like making positive or realistic videos. I don't like the idea of having constant pile-ons and constant negativity. This video though may stray a little bit into the negativity, so if you are someone who doesn't enjoy that as much at home, I have no issue with you going somewhere else and going having fun with your day, because I don't like being mega negative either, but it seems like I might need to have a bit of criticism here, it feels like to me. So when I'd seen that these versions, or this version of the game even, is basically a lot of cosmetic stuff with what looks like one mini set of missions at most, I was a bit disappointed. I thought that we were going to get something like the collector's editions you saw for GTA 5, which all looked really, really good. I never had any of them, granted. Kind of regret that in hindsight, not even trying to pick something up. But that was kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting to be going on release date and going to a Smith's toy store and queuing up to pick up a pre-order or something with a figurine or a steelbook or something along those lines. Just something to make it feel a little bit more special. It's been a long time since we've had a brand new GTA game that hasn't been ported to two separate consoles and had remastered versions even for PC. So I thought they would do something a little bit bigger here, and it seems like they haven't. But the real sticking point for me is that the physical editions, if you want to call it that, do not have discs in them. And they are just download codes. And that for me is really, really disappointing. I was looking forward to the idea of having something on the shelf that at least had the vast majority of the game on it. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for this, and that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to chat with you guys about, is like the different ways that I see they could be looking at this here. It could be as simple as this game's huge, which we kind of assume it will be. You know, like they've been making this game for like well over a decade. The rumored budget is like 3 or 4 billion US dollars, which is just an obscene amount of money. I know that GTA 5 made $1 billion in 3 days, but to make 3 or 4 billion back and then actually start making meaningful profits is going to take a while. I know that they haven't spent an awful lot of money at this point in time on marketing, which always eats up into a budget if they're going to spend that. So to get that money back, they've got to do a couple of different things, right? Maybe they didn't want to literally put an extra disc in there because it cost money. It could be that the game was so big that it was going to be 2 Blu-rays and still a massive download, and maybe they just didn't want that. It could be that. My sneaking suspicion is that they want the direct sales from this so that there's no pre-owned market for this game. They want to make sure that if you're buying this game, you are having to either pre-order this quote-unquote physical edition, which has a code in it, from them directly or a retailer, or you're going to a PS store or the Xbox store and downloading it and paying for it that way, and ultimately they will get the biggest amount of money that they could possibly get versus, you know, me buying GTA 5 when it launched, play it for a few weeks, and then giving it to a friend for nothing. And 2 people have played it for 1 sale. That's what I would imagine they are trying to stem off here to try and get the bang for their buck. Which then leads me to another set of thoughts as well. Is this the start of a bigger step change in the market? We'd seen it with the PS5, where the Pro came out and you had to buy the disc, the actual disc tray, for however much was that? Was that 70 quid or 80 quid or something like that? That might be way off, but you know what I mean? Like, that was another outlay you had to spend. And we've had the Xbox Series S, neither of which had a disc drive. You had to go then spend extra money on the PlayStation side, for example, for discs, or in the case of the Series S, have no disc tray and no other option. You took the budget line and that was that. Which, on the surface of it, when those came out, those were fine because it was a cheaper way of getting into a current gen console or a next gen console when they first came out, right? Like, that was reasonable. But you knew they were going to make the money in the back end from the extra store sales. But is this the start of, is the PS6 and the next Xbox going to officially have no disc tray? And this is going to be the quote-unquote future from now on? Is this a litmus test to find out how the market will react to it? Because ultimately, to me, right, this game is going to be the biggest game that has ever came out, regardless of how this actually goes down. So this is probably not going to impact sales initially, I think, because everyone who's hyped about it is going to take days off. You know, you're gonna get your download one way or the other. Hopefully they put up preloads for this for people with slower internet, i.e. me, at time of recording anyway, to get this in a few days early, because those servers are going to crash on day of launch 100%. There's going to be an actual economic impact of GTA 6 launching. So from that perspective, they probably think they can get away with it. You could put your conspiracy theory hat on, and they are going to try this as the litmus test with the rigged result, knowing that, oh, well, it didn't impact sales because everyone who wanted this game bought it anyway, so let's just do this more. It is a concern. As someone who has only really been collecting properly for about a year or two now, and really, really enjoying, you know, my time in the space and talking with people and going to events, sharing stories, and just being part of a really, really nice and fun community. If we lost the ability to collect for newer consoles, yes, we're going to have everything that came out prior to that, but eventually people will start aging out, and you will be left with people who don't have any familiarity with seeing a disc. Like, I know that when it comes to PC gaming, we've not really had discs being a thing in PC gaming for years now because of Steam being so accessible and so affordable, and then obviously you have the Epic Store and all that kind of stuff is rival to that. But I think if you lose it for consoles, it's a real crying shame, and I really do hope that it doesn't come to that. I really do hope that this is just a flash in the pan. I mean, this could even be that they're taking until like 3 days before the game comes out to stop dev. It could be something as simple as that they can't get this pressed in time, which is also something that it could well be. Could they not find factories to actually put like the amount of orders they would need in for this, so they just went, no, screw that, we just won't do it. I don't know, but what I would want to know is, I want to hear what you guys at home think. I want to hear, like, what is your reaction to hearing that this does not have a proper physical edition? The collector's edition doesn't really have, at least in my eyes, anything worth paying that extra money for and worth grabbing it for. Let us know in the comments down below, because I'd love to have a chat and conversation with you guys about what this means to you. Do you think that this is the end of collecting? Do you think this is just a flash in the pan? Do you think this is just a company just trying to get a few extra quid out of their user base, knowing that they'll be able to do that no matter what it is they do? I guess we will find out, and time will tell. Yeah, that's kind of what we have at this moment in time. And if you enjoyed this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button. It does help the channel out. We have a plethora of content here, from game hunts, deep dives into stuff, reflection and reaction videos. We're going to try and mix in one or two of these as big bits of news drop. This is a little bonus upload for you guys here on this quite nice and lovely Wednesday in Scotland. But take care, folks, and we'll see you all next time.